Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and we love helping the well-dressed take care of their wardrobes. Today I'm in the small German town of Trier, just on the border of Luxembourg. It's actually Germany's oldest town, and today we're going to be visiting the leather tannery JR Rendenbach, one of the few remaining vegetable tanneries here in Germany and really all of Europe that specializes in the ancient tradition of oak bark tanning. They're best known for making some of the finest outsoles in the world, and today we're going to be touring their factory and learning all about their process. I'm Kirby Allison, and I love helping the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Join me as we explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition.
Here we are, Kirby. It's a great honor to see you here in my tannery. And I want to tell you something about the past. 1871, my great-grandfather started here and founded the tannery. And he starts with the oak bark tannage. That means we only tan with vegetable tanning agents. And I'm now the fourth generation, and I started more than 30 years ago, and we followed up this quality line. We still only tan with vegetable tanning agents because for us it is very, very important and the only possibility to survive, to stay on the highest quality level you can produce.
So since 1871, you guys have essentially been tanning your leathers all the same way.
Yes. We translated in the last generation a little bit in a more modern way. That means you cannot do rest in the past, you have to translate it in the year 2000, but the main system of the tannage is still the idea what my great-grandfather started in 1871.
Yeah. So the oak bark tanning process is really an artisanal tanning. Everything starts here, but how long is this process in general?
Yes, we stay here at the height store, and the heights are coming, you can say, every 2-3 weeks, and then you can say 1 year later, the heights which are coming here are leaving the company. It depends from the thickness. So if you produce lady bands or shoulders, it's much faster. Perhaps we need between 4 and 6 months. But for men soles in a thickness about 5 millimeter plus, we need still a year to produce it. To get the JR quality, you need a very dense and firm fiber structure. So that means you have to buy special hides for this tannage. So we buy all our hides in the south of Germany, or for the higher thicknesses we buy in Austria special hides which are the result of a carefully husbandry. This is very, very important for us. The best part of the band is in this area here. This is the firmest fiber structure. And if you go a little bit more to the flanks or to the shoulder, then fiber structure becomes a little bit looser. But we cut very short, so there is no danger. And we give the guarantee that our customer can use until the last part of the hide, every piece, because it's short and small cut. We are one of the only tanneries who don't finish the crane, so we don't want to have a damage on the crane, and so we only buy in areas where you have no warble flies, no dung damages, no tearing on hatches. So it's very important to know the right areas and the right regions where you buy your material.
So now we're in the second room of the tannery.
Yes, it is the second production step, and the name is the water workshop. We work here in special machineries and special wets, and we use special machinery like pedals, and a pedal is a wet in which our pedals are set in motion. And it's important to wash out salt and blood veins and something like this we wash out, and after a certain time we start with the flesh removal machine, and the task of this machine is to cut away the flesh waste on the hide. So this machine is a very traditional and a very important machine for us, because all other tanneries in the world, they do it in a chemical way. And we do this process in a mechanical way because the resistance to water is much higher, and that's what we want. So This machine is called stroking machine, and the task of this machine is to press out hair roots and color pigments and to get a very nice and clean grain. And this is very important for the start for the tanning process. So Kirby, this is a very important place to speak about because you see here the natural vegetable tanning materials, and this is the way like my great-grandfather started in 1871. So we use 4 different barks and fruits. It's the oak bark, mimosa bark, spruce bark, and the Vallonea fruit from the Turkey.
And so within vegetable tanning, right, so vegetable you're using natural kind of organic matter to accelerate the tanning process.
Yes.
But you guys are unique in that you're using oak barks for the vegetable tanning process.
Yes.
Is that right?
It's very easy to understand. Every bark or fruit has a special task in the tanning process. That means the oak bark and the Vallonea, they are very familiar and they are responsible that you get a very firm tannage. The mimosa is different. Mimosa tends more flexible, more soft. And the spruce, in the spruce bark is sugar, and during the tanning process, the sugar switch over in an acid range and we become down to a pH of 3.5, and this is the acid range where you fix the tanning agents with the fiber structure. That means we have an old recipe and a lot of experience, and we know exactly which task which material has to do in the tanning process, and we can play a little bit.
And are you extracting anything, or are you literally taking this and throwing it in the pits with the hides?
We're doing it in the pits exactly like you see it here, but the only thing what we do before is we mixture it. That we have a mill, and we put this together with the old traditional recipe, and then we get the tan, and with the tan we go into the pits.
Great. So here we are. This is where the magic happens. This is the actual oak bark tanning pit.
Yes. And Kirby, this is the soul, this is the heart of the tannage of the company. And this is exactly the same what the great-grandfather started it in 1871. We fill the pits with hides and with tan. And the tan is, as we spoke before, it's the oak bark, spruce bark, mimosa and Vallonea, the mixture. And now we have a layer of tan, then a layer of hides, then a layer of tan again until the pit is filled. Then we gave water over it and we close it, and we let it inside for months until it is ready. And we know exactly, because of the experience, how long we need. And after a certain time, when the leather is needed, we open the pits and then we take the leather out, and then we speak about an oak bark tanned leather.
Yeah.
This way of tannage leads to advantages for the sole leather, and the advantages are the resistance to abrasion, which is wonderful. Then the water resistance, well, we call it a natural hydrophobic. Then we have a very, very high form stability. And for me, one of the most important things is we have a very high breathability. That means the leather can absorb 40% of its weight and give it up in a normal temperature and in 24 hours. That means you have always a dry feeling in the food.
So not only for the perspiration, but also
Yes.
for walking in rain.
Walking in rain.
You know, it's able to absorb, you know, that water moisture.
Yes.
And all this is happening naturally without any degradation
Yes.
or compromising of the integrity of the structure of the outsole.
That's absolutely true. We have only the fiber structure, that means the protein structure. We fill it with the vegetable tanning agents and with water, and that's all. No other material you can find in the sole. And after filling, we let the leather in this pit, for example, 4, 5, 6 months. It depends from the thickness of the hide. And then we use a crane to take the material out of the pit, and that I want to show you now.
Great.
Follow me.
So we've just lifted the oak bark tanned leather out of the pit. It's been in here for 6 months.
And now we have to do the work to take the bands out of this package. And so follow me, we have a look on this other place, and we show you how we find the leather into the tan. And you smell now the acid range. This is typical for the oak bark.
Yeah. So here we are. So you've pulled, the leather hides out of the pit, and this is the final step before moving to the drying room.
Yes, and we start with the so-called subsequent or past flesh removal machine. And you remember in the water workshop I explained to you that we let a certain yellow fure on the flesh side and to protect the hide, and we take it away after the tanning process. That's the task of this machine. Now we want to have a very clean flesh side, and that's what he is doing. Yeah. After this step, we go to the dewatering press, and the dewatering press has a task to press out the liquor which is still into the hide. And then we go to the drum pairing machine, and the drum pairing machine has a task that we get a very smooth grain and flesh side. Yeah. And then the leather is ready, and we bring it to the drying store, and that's the way we do now. Now we are on the drying store, the step after the tannage. And now every shoulder and every band has to be oiled before the drying process. And we use a vegetable oil, which we press by hand into the fiber structure here. We don't do it with a machine because we have different thickness in a hide. So we do it by manpower because it's much more in detail. And we press the oil into the fiber structure, and this leads to a better flexibility of the grain. So it cannot crack, it's good. And the not fixed tanning agents we fix with this oil, and then we take the leather and we put it into these knives, and then we let it here for around 5 days, and then the drying process is over. So after the drying process, we give a little bit water into the fiber structure before the rolling process. That means rolling, we press the fiber structure together. We do it, one idea is to get a very flat band and a flat shoulder, and the other idea is to press the fiber structure with all the capillaries together so that the water agents cannot go through.
So this is for further compressing that fiber structure, which is what creates that, the resistance to abrasion that is so important for a leather outsole.
The resistance to abrasion is important, but even the water resistance, because pressing the fiber structure together means it is more difficult for the water agents to penetrate through. And we are now in the cutting store, Kirby, and we have 2 cutting stores, one on this level and another one on the first floor. And we cut full soles, half soles. You see here a JR full sole for shoe repair. And we have here half sole, but we also, to use every part of the band, we also cut products like this, or these are for heels we produce in the next production step. So we can use all different parts of the band so that we get a wonderful result.
So you're using this both for the outsoles, of course, the full soles, the half soles, but also the JR heels.
It's a very important product for us, and it helps us to use a lot of the band, so we have only very small waste. Yeah. Now this is a place in the cutting store where we fix the soles and where we measure the soles, and after measuring we put every pair half soles, the same procedure, then full soles. We do a very stringent control that the thickness left side, right side is exactly the same. Kirby, we have, as you know, different customers all over the world, and sometimes both the name of the customer and our name appears. And let us speak about Allen Edmonds in the United States. We are very proud and very happy to be a supplier of your #1 in the United States, and we are the supplier for the whole Cordovan line of Allen Edmonds. And so you find our brand direct near Skip Horwin from the Cordovan Tannery and the name of Allen Edmonds. Yeah. And I have to say it again, it's a great honor for us that these 3 names are on one sole.
Yeah, I mean, the Allen Edmonds Cordovan shoes are, widely considered the finest shoes to come out of the Allen Edmonds factory. And just on the Cordovan shoes, they're using your JR oak bark tan leather outsoles.
Yes.
It's a perfect marriage of quality between you, Horween, and Allen Edmonds.
I agree. That's exactly what I said. Yes. So after the cutting store, now we are in the last production step, Kirby, where we fix full soles with blocks and top lifts, and we produce blocks and we produce the top lifts. And this starts around 15 years ago, because first JR was only a tannery. Then, let me say, 35, 40 years ago, we started to cut half soles and full soles. And then the shoe manufacturers ask for top lifts so that you have a nice view. If you see the shoe from the bottom, the color of the leather of the top lift is the same like the full sole. It's one quality. So we start to produce top lifts and the blocks for the shoe manufacturers. And then the last step was that a lot of our customers asked, is it possible that you fix us the whole bottom of a shoe? And then we started to do this, and this was the result. All things are working good, and we have a very good demand for this. Kirby, it was a great pleasure for me and a great honor to show you my tannery, and we end now. Behind me you see the result of the work of the last years, and I'm very happy to say that the most famous brands worldwide now use the JR, and it's a very good feeling for me, and it's a sign that quality works, and we will stay for it in the future. Thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.